Hi brush friends, this is Maricar from 7 Brush Strokes and welcome to the second part of the brush pen floral series where we are going to learn how to form leaves with brush pens. Let's get started. For this lesson, I have prepared different shades of green to give more variations to our leaves. You can also use Crayola Super Tips if you don't have brush pens. I like to use these colors from this brand. Let's take a look at the drills or exercises first. This one is very easy, it's very simple. Just press down with the tip of the brush pen and as you lift it off the paper, it will give you some kind of a teardrop shape and we can use this for the smaller leaves that we'll create later. Just bend the brush pen and don't be afraid because it's flexible and they are made for the heavy pressure. The size depends on the brush pen that you're using, just like here. I tried it with Faber-Castell Calligraphy brush pens. As you can see, it still achieved that teardrop shape but it's smaller. The next drill is a thin stroke for the stem. Press hard on the brush pen and then release. We'll do this on the other side but without that thin line. We'll just point, press, and release. You can also leave a thin white space in the middle so that it can indicate a vein in there. Let's try again by just doing the leaves and no stem. Point, press, release. You can also start with the thin stroke first, press hard on the brush pen and then release. Now, I just want to show you how it's done using Crayola Super Tips because I also love using these markers to create easy florals. Start with thin stroke, press hard, and release. As you can see, it's not as thick as the previous one because the tip is not flexible, but you can do the same shape of the leaves with this marker. Okay, it's time to put these drills together. Let's draw a very thin stroke first for our stem. Make sure you give it some nice curve to give it a more natural look. And then using the teardrop shape we did earlier, we'll just add them as leaves from the top and then one for each side of the stem. Next, we have another small leaf. I'm just drawing a stem here and random branches. And using again the teardrop shape, we'll form some kind of a heart-shaped petal for each branch. Again, don't focus too much on the perfection, okay? Nature is perfectly imperfect. If you need to rotate the paper, feel free to do it if that would be easier for you. The third leaf is just like the second one, but this time instead of a heart shape, we'll create the leaves with 3 teardrop shapes like this. Next is one of my favorite kind to use on my florals. We'll draw a stem and then add small leaves. Thin stroke, press, release, but just make them small in size. You can add at least 3 to 5 leaves, but I like to keep them in odd numbers. Let's repeat this kind of leaves, but this time a little bigger than the previous one. You can leave a negative space in between the 2 strokes or fill them in. For the following leaves, it will be just a one-stroke thin leaves like this, and I chose the color to be darker. I think it's good to have this as filler flowers on top of some nice bigger leaves. Here, I'm showing you how you can achieve a two-tone leaves. I'm using a light green on one side and a darker color on the other side. As we put these two strokes together, I leave a space in between because that's where I will blend the colors in. For this type of leaves, I'll just draw a stem and then stippling around to form very tiny leaves. I'm not being very mindful on how I draw these leaves because I just want this to be fun and loose and not thinking about perfection or making it realistic. And the last, we have these long and thin leaves created with two strokes. So by just varying the size of your leaves and the shape, will give you a different look of another leaf. On the next part of the series, we're going to create leaves wreath and flower wreath. So if you don't have any idea yet on how to paint easy flowers with brush pens, be sure to check the first part of this series. I will put the link on the description box below so you can check it out. There you have it, some easy leaves created with just brush pens. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram or Facebook at 7brushstrokes and use the hashtag BrushFriendsCreate so I can see your versions of these simple leaves. Thanks for watching! See you on the next video and have fun!